Dormammu awakens as the Infinity Stones tear open reality, unleashing his mindless ones on Earth. Drawn by their power, Thanos returns, ready to reclaim what he believes is his. As the heroes struggle with the stone's growing corruption, the Guardians of the Galaxy arrive, not as allies, but as rivals seeking the stones for themselves. The Avengers, divided and overwhelmed, begin to fall, leaving Earth caught between cosmic greed, ancient darkness, and the collapse of its last line of defense. Star-Lord stood firm, his voice rising with frustration. "I'm tired of repeating myself like a damaged audio file," he said, addressing Tony Stark directly. "I already told S.H.I.E.L.D. no. The Avengers collected the Infinity Stones, and that wasn't easy. But they're better off with us, the Guardians." Tony, unwavering, argued that the Avengers were the best team to protect them. He had already built a high-security vault, cloaked from Thanos and anyone else who might come looking. But Peter Quill wasn't convinced. 4 stones in one place? That's a death wish. Thanos nearly tore your world apart with just one. Tensions spiked. Rocket Raccoon, always ready to stir the pot, mocked Tony's reluctance. Stark fired back with sarcasm, refusing to hand over the stones. The conversation quickly spiraled into a full-blown confrontation as the Guardians demanded control. But then a new twist emerged. A stealth mission went wrong. Black Widow, attempting to secretly remove the stones to keep them safe, claimed she had to act before the Infinity Stones corrupted anyone else. Stark, already under the influence of the stones, became outraged and accused her of betrayal. "You're more loyal to S.H.I.E.L.D. than the Avengers," he snapped. A fight broke out between Natasha and Tony, but Natasha managed to escape. With the other Avengers rushing in to stop her, she easily outsmarted Falcon, Captain America, and Hawkeye until the Hulk arrived. However, Natasha quickly explained the effects of the Infinity Stones and how her S.H.I.E.L.D. training allowed her to resist their influence. "At least for now. Thor and I have to get rid of them," she insisted. Understanding the threat, Hulk let them pass. Thor, siding with her, declared that the stones should be hidden in Asgard, protected by its forbidden magics. Upon arriving in Asgard, they sought the help of Heimdall to safeguard the stones. However, before Natasha could hand them over, she realized Heimdall was already corrupted by the Infinity Stones. Without hesitation, Thor struck him down with Mjolnir, and they immediately opened a portal and returned to Earth. But their escape had come at a cost. The attempt to move the stones had sent a signal across the cosmos, drawing the attention of the Spartax, the Sakarans, and even the Celestials, all now heading toward Earth. The Guardians returned in force, this time not as allies. "We didn't come to warn you," Rocket sneered. "We came to be first in line." Natasha continued to fight the effects of the stones, but the Guardians launched an attack. Groot struck Thor, slamming him hard into a wall. Thor quickly recovered and retaliated, smashing Groot back. The Guardians then tried to corner Natasha, and when Star-Lord shot her, Captain America arrived and shielded her. The rest of the Avengers followed close behind. Stark looked at Natasha and said, "You did the right thing." I didn't realize I had already fallen under the spell of the stones. A chaotic battle broke out as the Avengers clashed with the Guardians. In the heat of the conflict, Natasha and her group activated the Guardians' teleporters, sabotaged to delay pursuit, and escaped. Aboard the ship, Widow struggled to resist the urge to use the stones, even as their voices whispered promises of absolute power. "Rule the world," they cooed. In a private moment, Natasha spoke with Thor. She reminded him of his promise, that if the stones ever fully possessed her, he would be the one to take her down. Thor solemnly agreed, reaffirming that he would keep his word. With Asgard no longer a safe option, Widow turned to her final backup, Plan 177A, Bleecker Street, the Sanctum. Sanctorum. Dr. Strange greeted them with urgency. "You've awakened something ancient," he warned. "The multiverse stirs." No sooner had he spoken than Dormammu emerged, possessing a mortal body, and unleashed his minions, the mindless ones, who launched a sudden attack. The heroes fought valiantly. Magic clashed with cosmic energy as Hulk, Thor, and Strange held the line. Meanwhile, Widow, overwhelmed by the chaos, resorted to using the Infinity Stones to push Dormammu back through the portal. But as she tapped into their power, she began to slip. Why did I resist for so long? I can do anything now, she murmured. Suddenly, Natasha lashed out, consumed by the overwhelming power. No one questions me, she roared. Thor stepped forward and tried to stop her. You made a promise, he reminded her. Widow, still battling the corruption inside her, hesitated. Don't let me become what we've always fought against. The team refused to give up on her. Iron Man stepped forward and said firmly, You're the strongest of us. Widow, stronger than the stones. With help from her friends, Natasha finally broke free from their control. But it wasn't over. Thanos returned, drawn by the lingering energy of the stones. He seized the Infinity Gauntlet and declared, Ultimate power, now mine. Thor invoked Odin's law and attempted to banish Thanos to the dark realm for eternity, but it didn't work. Thanos resisted, then soared into the sky to carry out his plan. Below him, destruction spread. Buildings were dark and damaged, roads cracked open, and debris lay scattered across the streets. Several figures, likely fallen Avengers, lay motionless on the ground in defeat. Hawkeye, quiet for once, could only mutter, Kind of hard to be sarcastic when it's the end of the world.